Hey everybody, I'm Cisco with 96 Studios and Nerd Weekly. I'm here at Comet Collectibles with Marco, and I'm also here with Julienne, and we're just here gonna shoot the breeze and have a little podcast session, and whatever happens, happens. Marco, you have a beautiful store. We got to walk around. I've been here a few times. You have a beautiful collection of toys and collectibles, a lot of anime, a lot of plush. Give me a little background. Tell me how you came from where you were and how we got here at the Park Place Mall here in Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, so hi guys, name's Marco. So a while ago here in Tucson, I actually started selling toys from my own collection at the Tonka Verde swap meet. When I was there, I was just, posted up a table, sold Star Wars toys, Nintendo Amiibo actually was another big one, and a few Funko Pops. Eventually, I actually started working for a couple people at the swap meet, running their shops and whatnot, that also sold toys and collectibles. But it wasn't until last year that I actually, set up a business account, business license and all that, and started ordering wholesale. With that, I started, getting a lot more product in, more Pops, more Star Wars Black Series, anime figures, and I decided to open up my own store at the Tonka Verde swap meet. Shortly after that, something pretty bad happened.
I know you were burglarized.
Yeah. I don't know if I can name drop the swap meet in terms of yeah. So
yeah, well, they can't come after me. Like
so my thing is like I try to not like put the blame on anyone.
Sure.
There was someone to blame, obviously, but again,
they won't I don't care.
Well, I don't.
The worst thing
I
they're gonna
can't
tell me is they can't give me.
Keep the red tape.
Right.
The worst thing to do is not let me have no more chata coming out of the swap meet.
Yeah, but it's different for him.
So eventually, after they broke into my shop and took half of my stuff, I just decided, hey, you know what? I can't give up on this stuff because I'm still getting in orders. I built up already a following of people. That happened earlier this year, 2021. So shortly after that, of selling back out again on the sand over there, I decided, you know what? This isn't for me. Let's look elsewhere. And then right place, right time, I was able to lease a store here at the Park Place Mall in Tucson, Arizona. So yeah.
What a beautiful store it is.
Oh, I mean, it took a lot of hard work and effort. Shout out, my loved ones, my friends who all helped out to set this all up for us. But yeah, Comet Collectibles finally became a brick and mortar store. Something I'm really proud about.
And what a nice set of real estate. I mean, you guys are like the moment you walk into the entrance, you're just maybe a few stores down, and bam, right there.
Oh yeah.
Anime displays. You got the.
Yes.
As soon as you're walking in, it pulls your head. It pulls your head
you're
straight
like,
to
whoa.
it. And before you even get to any other store down the way, talk about like box lunch, shout out box lunch, send me free stuff. Hot Topic, shout out Hot Topic, send me free stuff. They almost get my plugs in there too.
Yeah, right.
So but like before you even get to anything else, you see this one. And if anything, this is way more unique. You got more of a solid baseline of anime plushies. You even got we're looking at the shirts over there.
The
the kimonos from Demon Slayer, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Demon Slayer just came out on Funimation, the movie.
Funimation.
I didn't watch it yet. Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't watch
nice.
it. I literally saw it. I literally saw someone tweet it out, and I was like, "Sweet."
Did you get a chance to watch
No,
it?
I didn't watch it.
What about you?
No, I saw it opening night with my girlfriend, and then the following Saturday. I'm a big Demon Slayer fan, so we actually cosplayed for.
I gotta ask
for
her real
that.
quick.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend, she's an artist.
Yes.
She does a lot of art. And did she do the back? Because we're gonna get a lot of questions
Yes,
about
of
this.
course. This is a mural painted here at the store by my girlfriend. You can follow her, ELYSIUMNOX, on most social medias. She did an outstanding job. I mean, she really outdid herself.
Yeah, you got Gon up there, Hunter x Hunter, Sailor Moon, of course, Dragon Ball, one of the probably most legendary animes ever.
Deku right behind my head, which I'm actually wearing the shirt of, so that.
I got Naruto.
I think one thing I could appreciate is that there's so many different styles in this, and yet she was able to incorporate every single one accurately.
Yeah, she really did a beautiful job. And I mean, like, a lot of people who have been in the shop, they actually recognize the shop because a few months ago, Toy Temple from Phoenix, Arizona, they were in
this spot, right?
Yeah, they were selling a ton of Pops, so it was really funny. To this day, I still get people coming in and asking me like, hey, you guys came back? And I'm like, actually, that was, I explained to them, that was a different company. Shout out Toy Temple. They got
But I will take your money. Please give me your money.
You know, and I like the comparison I get, which every now and then people come in and say, hey, you don't have too many pops. And I'm like, yeah, I know, because I'm trying to delve out to different fandoms, different collectible stuff. You know, I try to keep this store as, I guess you can say, as embracing of people as can be, you know.
I'm not gonna lie, like when I walk in and I look into the side for the stores, I saw this store, my head stopped, but the rest of my body kept moving. I had to break. And I was like, oh god, there's figures in there. So I ran in here and
it's not even the pops, he even has Dorbs. I haven't seen Dorbs.
Dorb, exactly.
Like the Dorb figs were doing really well, and then all of a sudden this Funko stopped like pushing them out, and I bought a little Dorb, bought a little Ezio little Dorb. I have it on my shelf.
Yeah, that's right.
It was like I think it was your opening day. That was man. When I remember going on opening day here, the line was like Wetzel Pretzels, like 4 stores down. It was like hitting the corner, going all the way around the corner. That I think is the Verizon store.
Yeah,
on the corner.
No, yeah, it was a lot to handle. I mean, it really was so much fun, you know. But at the same time, man, it was a bit to handle, you know. Like there were times where I was feeling like, oh my gosh, like, is this too overwhelming? Because I mean, it's just myself and my girlfriend here, right? Like we don't have any employees, so but thankfully, I mean, the first day, the opening day, was honestly one of those days where like you don't forget, you know, in your life, you know, everyone's got those unforgettable days, and that was definitely one of mine.
One of them accolades to add to the book there.
Oh, absolutely. Just considering, you know, all the trouble I faced from just 1 year to, you know, here.
So the bounce back is like, you drop the ball, that ball bounced 20 feet.
Right.
That bounce back.
Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah.
No, and I think about that sometimes. Like, man, if that bad thing that happened to me, getting burglarized, never happened, I might still literally be at the swap meet.
Did you ever go on like Second Market, like Facebook Market?
To
You're like,
this day,
that was mine. That guy's selling my stuff.
To this day, I still check every single night. I have to check, you know, because there's some very exclusive stuff that was taken. That's very. It was so unique. So like as soon as I see it, exactly. If I see it online, best believe I'm gonna go buy that. You know, you feel me? So. We'll see what happens.
By buy, he means kick the door down.
Look, I'm not a violent person.
You also have a tattoo?
I'm not violent.
Who else has it?
Steal my figure. I'm on my scalp.
They're an entertainment earlier they bought it online. No. That's horrible.
No, yeah, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's everything happens for a reason, and look no further than that tragedy to this, I guess, success.
So if I have to call the store anything, it's like, okay, you got your Funko section, which is great, but you also have like your anime and you got your sci-fi. Are you more of an anime guy or more of a sci-fi guy?
You know, that's funny.
Because I see HAL, right? Not HAL 9000, Space Odyssey.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, I love it. I have it on VHS.
No, yeah, 2001 is like my top 10, like up there, but I have a way stronger affinity for Star Wars than I do for anime. And I know it's weird because you might look into the store and see half of the stores, anime, and then the other half, everything else. Star Wars.
That's kind of how I see it. That's how it's like down the middle.
Well, at the end of the day, guys, I am a businessman, and I love anime a bit, and I know it sells a little bit better than Star Wars does, especially here at the mall setting, But if it were up to me, take me to Star Wars movie over, watching anime at home any day of the week.
This would be like the Disney section of Star Wars. Everything Star Wars.
Yeah, no, I was lucky enough to actually get from some certain stores that were closing. I got some like store displays, and they were gonna be for my house, but eventually, opening up a store, I was like, hey, I can use these. So they went up on the wall. So
she's like, yo, we get the jet BB-8 out of here.
Exactly.
I have a coat rack right here.
Yeah, and what's funny is that one's actually a gift. So many people like they just came to me and were like, hey, you know what? Here you go. Put this in your store. Do what you want with it. Sell it or don't. Do what you want. And I mean that BB-8 was a gift. The giant Anakin Skywalker poster over there was a gift as well. So like. I've just been blessed, truly, by my community, and every day I go home and I'm like, thank you to like everyone. I mean, even like you guys coming in and like wanting to ask me some questions. And
I
stuff like
told
that.
you from the get-go, I'm using you any content.
Right.
I was
I
like,
don't talk you because I like you.
I'm like, come on, man, like that background, like let me just get background in there. So, you know, and then like I was watching The Bad Batch before I came here.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about
Yeah, I
Star
haven't had a
Wars.
chance to watch that.
No, dude, I
I
love
watched
The
The
Bad
Mandalorian,
Batch.
but then
This we're
before
talking
that,
about
no.
Star Wars. I'm bringing up The Bad Batch. I love that show.
Yeah.
Like I love the Wrecker's my favorite. Wrecker's my favorite. I saw his pop the other day. I'm on cash. I was like, I can't get that.
Yeah.
So I was like all sad about it.
No, my big thing was that is Omega. I can't
Omega, yeah.
I can't wait to see.
There's a lot of rumors going around. You think she's like Boba Fett's sister, like a clone?
No, so my thing is you can't name her. Right,
Hey,
right.
Listen, by the way, if you haven't watched Bad
Spoilers.
Batch by now and it's been out for a couple of weeks,
Right.
please just skip forward. I don't know what to tell you. You're losing that life. Watch the Bad Batch.
It's a really, really good show. What I will say is this, and I don't want to spoil much, but
I will.
you can't name a character Omega, Alpha, and Omega and have her not be the end of what the Clone Saga is. That's kind of how I see the character. You feel me?
No, last week's episode was the best.
No,
I'll-
yeah. I mean, we got
Cad Bane, son.
Dean coming in.
Cad
yeah.
Bane.
No.
I was sitting there, my kids were over there in
He
their
said-
little iPads, and as soon as he came on, I started cursing. I started like, and they were like, "What is going on?" And I was like, "The guy is Cad Bane," and they were like, "We don't care. We're playing Roblox." Funniest thing, my son told me the other day. He goes, "My main core memory is Roblox," and I'm looking at him like, "What? Like who says that?"
Who says that?
That's,
That's
it's
funny.
a nut.
No, I mean, and shout out Disney. Like Cisco says, if you want to send us some free stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's just what they've taken with like Star Wars and enjoying this whole new saga, this new content like the Bad Batch, like the Mandalorian.
Sure.
And I mean,
Mandalorian.
even transferring over to the Marvel stuff. Have you guys been watching Loki?
Oh, I've been watching Loki. I'm
Dude.
not gonna lie, I'm not a big fan of it right now.
Really?
As soon as I read the I think it was second episode, it was called The Variant.
Mhm.
I already could tell where it was going.
Really?
I already, and as soon as I'm with that with movies,
Mhm.
I'm with that with a lot of TV shows. If I could tell where you're going before you get me there, I'm already out. I buy out of it. It's like Disney builds up like a good thing, how to build a facade, like puts you in full immersion into everything you're doing. And it's like you make it like, oh man, that's totally there. Like The Mandalorian. You could not figure out exactly where it was going until it happened. You knew Boba Fett was gonna show up.
Yeah.
But you didn't know exactly when or how or where he was gonna get his armor
I see
back.
what you're saying, and you felt that with Loki.
Yeah, and Loki, I was like, as soon as you press the little thing, it's like The Variant, and then you look at the last episode, you're like, yeah, I already know where this
There
is
you go.
going.
It's like, yeah.
So as soon as when they did the big reveal, you're like, oh, okay. Look at the last episode of The Mandalorian season 2. Did anyone think that was going to be Luke Skywalker?
Not until I saw the X-wing. Again, spoilers.
I
But
would've-
not until I saw the X-wings.
I saw the one X-wing,
Yeah.
but then I was like, they're not going to do it.
No, yeah, you're right, you're right.
I was like,
That was too meta.
pretty. What you think though? Like one of those.
If it was me, I would have went a Mace Windu.
Mace Windu.
He
Mace
was-
Windu?
You know
Yeah.
what? That would have thrown me off. I would have been
I mean,
like,
yeah, this dude,
this
Mace is.
because we haven't
You
seen
could-
Mace since 3.
But that's the thing. There's never affinity that he ever died out of that fall.
You're not wrong.
Jedis fall from great heights all the time.
That's true.
So the thing is, you could have had him a little bit more jacked up from when he got hit with the lightning, and then what I would have had done is like, if you ever steal this idea, Disney, I want my royalties. You could have had him taking Grogu and telling him, showing him how to use the Force and stuff,
But telling him about
and giving
the
him his
whole
own. But like the whole season would have been him training, and half of this episode would have been a flashback from when he learned it as a Padawan, as a teenager Jedi, going into his adulthood. You could have hired different actors.
Yeah,
for
and I
that.
feel like they didn't really capitalize too much on like Mace Windu. Like he was a user of a pod. Like he was like one of those chosen few type. I mean, like he was the only one wielding a purple lightsaber because he did like the Vapod form or lightsaber form.
Well, they always said it was. They always said he was polyforced. Like he was like he slipped into some type of dark side mode, and then red and blue made purple. Actually, I watched the.
Interesting.
Vapod
Good
is.
theory.
Vapod
Yeah,
is-
yeah,
I don't know vapor and stuff. I don't vape, dog. Like I don't do the vape stuff.
Here's my
Bad
thing
freak,
about
don't vape
that.
kids.
my thing is like again with Star Wars, it's such a rich story, and it's not always going to be in the movies and the TV shows. There's countless novels, comic books, and I'm talking about like the new canon stuff. Yeah. There was a canon Mace Windu storyline which took place during the Clone Wars, and the thing about that is going back to like the reveal at the end of the second season. As soon as I saw the X-Wing, I was like, I can't believe it, they're gonna do it. But still, part of me was like, can it really be Luke though? And then the whole reveal and everything. But Mace is kind of out of left field, if you ask me.
I would have went there because that would have been that total.
Right. Yeah. And the thing I've said a million times when it comes to Star Wars is, unless you see the person die, they're probably not dead.
Oh, you're going horror movie rules now.
Well, I mean, Darth Maul got chopped in half.
No, the horror movie rules. Unless you check the body, Jason ain't dead. He ain't never dead. Because guess what? You turn around, you look back, the body's gone. And then you're like, oh, it's still going. And then everything, if it's still nighttime, it's never over.
Yeah.
The sun needs to come up. That's horror movie rules.
If the movie still has 30 minutes, it's still going.
Yeah. That's one thing. When I watch horror movies, I just keep an eye on the watch. I'm always like, no, we got time. We got a lot of time.
We got enough time to kill about 2-3 more people before it's over.
No, did you guys see the new trailer for the new Halloween movie? I think it just dropped yesterday.
No, I didn't get a chance yet.
Me neither. But
I kind of get thrown off into the void when we start seeing more than like 2 or 3 of the same type of movie.
Right.
But I know that some of them are pretty good.
Yeah, no, the last Halloween movie was very good.
Oh no, I loved it.
I loved it.
But as soon as she looked back and then he was gone out of the flames, I was like, we're also gonna get a sequel to this.
Exactly. And then you hear him breathing in the credits. Like towards the end of the credits, you hear him breathing. So it's like, okay, well.
So I always see a lot of people didn't like the Rob Zombie remakes, and I love the Rob Zombie remakes. I gave a lot more, whatchamacallit. He kind of went Halloween 5. Totally Halloween 5, because Halloween 5 is when he starts getting like, ooh, he's psychic. Yeah. And they're connected telepathically. Yeah. Then he's like, they're having weird dreams and stuff like that. So like number 2 is, I can see why people don't like the Rob Zombie ones. But the only thing I liked about the whole thing is that if we didn't give Rob Zombie chances at these movies, they just announced Rob Zombie's gonna do a live action Monsters movie.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
and so if we don't let him have these chances with these movies, we will never get the Monsters.
No, we will never see that.
If it's not black and white, I'm kind of be disappointed, but I understand why.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, and see, you're speaking my alley with the Monsters and the Addams Family and stuff like that, because I actually hate horror movies. Like,
really?
I'm terrified of horror movies. The last one I saw was A Quiet Place, I think.
Part 2?
Yeah. No. The part 1.
Part 1. He said, no, I'm done after 1.
No. And the thing is I want to watch the second part, because, and the thing, I feel like that's more of a science fiction movie, so I'll give it a pass, because it's like aliens and stuff. But like slasher films, I'm terrified. I feel like, why are you going to the movies to be afraid? I'd rather go to the movies and feel adrenaline, like watching an action movie,
Go Vin Diesel, go Vin Diesel.
Yeah, no, like I absolutely hate like horror movies. I tell my girlfriend, once per year, you get one horror movie to go watch in the theater per year. That's it.
I feel like movies have that effect to where, like, horror movies have that effect where, like, you can go home and just normal stuff that you do is now incorporated into like the horror part.
You're right.
Like, for example,
you're hearing the house settle and stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, what the hell? They didn't do that before.
Gotta be demons. But no, but like
after I watch Avengers, I'm not thinking Iron Man's gonna like come knocking on the door.
Yeah. Like, okay, here we go. Like,
we must save the world.
Paranormal Activity. When it first came out.
God.
When it first came out, the hype around it was that it was real.
It was the scariest movie they said at the time.
And it was because the hype around it was this really happened.
Right.
We didn't know it was Paramount Pictures owned it, and I did that before that.
Yeah.
So when you first go and watch it, you're like, I ain't believing this.
Yeah.
And then
the Ouija board lights up on fire.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
oh,
I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm out.
The point that got
dragged
me.
out of his bed.
No.
Yeah, that was the part that got me.
Man.
It's like when the dude got dragged out, the chick got pulled out of the bed. You're like, there's some messed up stuff going on.
I would hate to be asleep and that happened to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Before that, you gotta remember, it was like Blair Witch. They had that same,
exactly.
They had that same kind of eeriness to it, but it's like if you look at the two genre styles of how they film those things, those are like the greatest things. To me, I always liked like the makeup, like the movie monsters. Like Tom Salvini is one of my favorite makeup artists ever. If you don't know who Tom Salvini is, he plays Sex Machine and Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh yeah, he does some really good work.
Great work.
Yeah.
He actually did that whole cast of all the vampires and stuff like that.
Yep.
And then he pushes a lot of light on one of my favorite movies of all time is 1954 Creature from the Black Lagoon. Have you ever read his novel, the Finding the Creature? I forget the novel's name.
He did work for that?
No, he pushes the light that there was a woman back in Hollywood in that time period. They stole her work, and they gave credit to a male who didn't have really much to do with the creature's outfit or outcome of the look. It was mostly a female who did. I forget her name, but there's a book I need to grab and I need to read that thing. But no, man, like when the horror movies and like the one movie I pushed off watching for the longest time, La Llorona.
You're not speaking my language with these movies.
See,
I saw one of the Conjuring movies, and I'm like,
yeah, it's one of the Conjuring. See, yeah.
What's the point of this? You know, like you just go
See,
there.
and that was the same thing with me, like The Nun. You know, the other one where they go.
The Devil Made Me.
The Devil Made Me. I watched that one. I didn't get it, but La Llorona is because you get told that story
when you're
as a kid,
yeah, that's right,
and they
that's
tell
right.
you it's real, and you're like, it's just the river. No, like any wash, any back alley is coming for you, rainy day, and you'll hear crying. So when it happened, I was like, I don't need my childhood to come. Like,
no, see, it wouldn't even be like that sometimes, though. It wouldn't be like, oh, don't go to the river. No, it's like, don't be a bad kid, or like, I don't know, it's gonna get you.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man,
It's the Kukui.
I don't know what
Like,
to
that's
do.
why
Wait till the Conjuring and Kukui. That's
it's like a Mexican household, 2-room household, one room's always haunted.
Yeah. No,
That's the room they don't want you to go in.
Exactly. Dad, what's this? Put that back. Don't tell your mom.
The Kukui.
The Kukui.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, no, stick me with, and I, like I said, I love science fiction. My thing is, give me a good scary science fiction movie. Like
watch it?
Oh, and I would watch it any day of the week. And it's more like existential scare. Have you guys seen
Like
Ex Machina?
Yeah.
So
I skimmed that movie. I ain't gonna lie.
And I wouldn't consider that a horror movie.
No.
But let me tell you, it fills me with like that kind of like same. It's a good kind of fear.
Yeah.
You know that it's not like a scaring you in the jump scare.
No.
You know,
it's like
La Llorona in your face kind of fear. It's like that existential dread. You know, that you would get playing like a Metroid game. You know what I'm talking about?
I feel it.
Yeah.
All right, I get you on that.
I know there was one movie that came out recently. I believe it's on Netflix called Mother.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm talking about.
With the it was oh man, I know they're robots. See, and that's why they scare me so much is I actually have a phobia of artificial intelligence. No, straight up.
He has a HAL.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Like I think HAL 9000 is one of, and he is like one of the top 100 movie villains of all time. I think he's one of the absolute.
Yeah, he's in your pocket. It's called an iPhone.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's like, to this day, I don't watch Smart House on Disney Channel.
No, man, it terrifies me. It terrifies me.
Alexa, are you going to take over the world?
So you don't watch any of the Terminator series, did you?
I love those movies.
You
I don't.
love
Well, I loved the first two. Here's funny. This is funny. I tell people all the time. I really like Salvation, and I feel like it was just because like at the time I was like a teen, so like I liked, bad movies back then. But I genuinely loved Salvation. One, I like Christian Bale. Plus, like I always remember the whole behind the scenes thing of him yelling at someone cracks me up. Have you guys seen that?
I've seen that one. Yeah.
He's like,
we're done professionally.
Yeah.
How about RoboCop? RoboCop would have been like, my hero, RoboCop.
I didn't see the new one.
No.
I saw, but
the
old
one
one's a classic.
was alright. He was dope in that black outfit.
Yeah.
But the old one's always classic.
No, the old one's a classic. Now I can't watch it because it's got the character who Red Foreman is the evil guy. So I always think of that '70s show when I watch it. But yeah, no, it's a good movie. I enjoy that one.
I think RoboCop the new one was a little better when it came to the reveal. Because I know that. Because before, I mean, the shock factor in like the first RoboCop was like the dude got lit up, like a Christmas tree. Like that's
the main
what you
character.
saw.
Yeah.
He's just getting
he's just boom, boom, boom. His arms are gone. It's just crazy. But in this one, it was more like, it was just his head, and then he's talking to him, and then out of nowhere, you just pan back, and you just see this fake body, and you're like, dude.
That's crazy.
I would hate to be in that position, like something like that happens.
How about like do you do like Living Dead, Walking Dead? You do like the zombie stuff like that?
Let me tell you, I really like the Walking Dead. Like most people, I feel that when Walking Dead was huge, I was on that first few seasons. You know, and then I kind of died out.
I was the same way.
But 100%, like it's just something about gore. It doesn't click with me.
Really?
You feel me? Yeah. No, I'm not into it. You know, like I can deal with the Walking Dead stuff, of course. But like the only other zombie movie I think I've seen was it was the one when they were at the mall. It was I think it was Dawn of the Dead, but it was the recent one. And I say recent, I mean this movie came out in the mid 2000s, but it was when they're at the mall and the whole zombie apocalypse was just starting.
Yeah,
that's a video game.
It reminds me of like Dead Rising, the video game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yes, exactly. They always like malls.
That game gave me so much anxiety.
I think it's because like you think of like, man, if I was at a store that had stuff to defend myself, it would be so awesome. Yeah, Costco. I'm gonna hit you with an industrial size ketchup.
Yeah.
In that game, you could actually like do certain things. You could actually get like the full Mega Man outfit.
Yep.
The Buster Cannon and all that stuff.
Yep. And that dude that looks like the Lego character.
Yeah, you get the Lego head and stuff like that. And then the only thing I didn't like about that game gave me anxiety. You're always on the clock.
Yes.
You're always on the clock to try to be. I can't do games like that. That gets me all like anxiety and shit. I can't do it.
Was not a fan of Majora's Mask. You were not. I bet you weren't.
No, I was on the clock. I actually just beat Breath of the Wild, and that's been out for like 4 years.
Yeah.
But the ending was like, I thought like Ganon.
Don't tell me.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I borrowed your game.
He borrowed my game. I wasn't finished. And I was like,
you gotta finish it. Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out next year.
Dude, it's funny because I'm playing Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity.
Mm-hmm. And you haven't beat the first.
I still haven't beat the first game, so I'm learning all this.
It's a prequel, right?
Yeah.
So like,
So I'm learning before I end with.
Do you remember? No, I don't. Okay, well, this is what happens.
Yeah.
No, I'm a huge Zelda fan, so yeah, 100%. Like I was saying, one of the first things I was selling before even Star Wars toys was Nintendo Amiibos. So I've always loving
Amiibos. Yeah. I saw your little collection.
Yeah, back there.
The Guardian, and I like the Guardians.
I keep I sold pretty much everything I have, minus like my Zelda collection. Those won't move.
Yeah.
And a couple other ones that I have an affinity to.
Oh no, I never really got into Zelda. Like I played like Wind Waker a little bit.
Fantastic game.
Ocarina of Time.
10 out of 10.
And then which I played the original Zelda, was on the Nintendo and stuff like that. That one was kind of like okay, that's cool. Switch back to Mortal Kombat.
9 out of 10 on that one. Well, I mean, we're comparing it with
like what's we're having technology now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure at the time, like it was.
If you think about it, old technology like the Nintendo, it holds up.
Oh, 100%.
It still holds water.
Even retro now, like people still.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. That's why they can remake it into like the Game & Watch that's gonna come out at the end of this year, and people are still gonna buy it because they still want to play. I can't wait to play Zelda 2. That was actually one of the games that I really loved growing up, despite it being.
Oh, you're talking about that side-scrolling.
The side-scrolling one. Yep. No, yeah, that's I had the they were for the Game Boy Advance. They would do NES throwback games, and I had that one. And it was one of the first Zelda games where it launched me into looking up online video game walkthroughs and like let's plays on YouTube because you can't figure out what to do at all in that game.
Oh yeah.
But it's cool because that led me to really diving into the whole gaming on YouTube and YouTube in general kind of
What
thing.
was your first experience with Zelda? Like which game did you play that started you on that?
It was probably, so I had a GameCube growing up. Before that I had a 64, but even then I didn't have any of the Zelda games then. On the GameCube though, I would probably say the collector's edition, which came with the first two Zelda games and also Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. That might have been my first experience with the game. And then shortly after that, Wind Waker. And then, of course, my personal favorite of the whole series is Twilight Princess. Yes. I got that on GameCube as well. And I mean, I've been a fan since then. Of course, on my Game Boy Advance, I also play the heck out of the Oracle games, Oracle Seasons and Oracle games. Yeah.
I think my first experience with Link and Zelda and all that was Link to the Past.
Great
so
game.
Super NES.
Yep.
Starts off. He's just he wakes up. And his, I guess, father or uncle goes to like save the princess, and then he gets killed by the guards.
What a great story! And like the first 2 minutes of the game
already,
you know, and there's like tragedy, like a mission, a quest. You know, Cisco, you didn't play A Link to the Past.
I would just like to say I too like Zelda.
We were like 15 minutes.
No, you guys are good.
We love Zelda. We love Zelda. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you know, you guys are right. It is a 10 out of 10 series. The games hold still water, especially on old platforms. Especially old platforms. I played that Pokemon Go. Was it Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee stuff? Just because I knew it was a rehash of red, blue, yellow, green. Just the cold Kanto region. I knew it was a whole rehash, and I'm just hoping that they come out with a whole Johto League area. You know. So I could replay that whole thing, because that Johto League, that Pokemon Gold, Silver, Diamond, or was it Crystal?
Crystal.
That was my whole area right there.
It's like there's a lot of games that I want to see come back. You know, like the reds, blues, greens, yellows. But then it's like, well, which way do you want to play it? Do you want to play it like Sword and Shield, or do you want to play it like Ruby Red, or like these other games? And me,
Ruby Red, that was had the dual battle, right?
I think so. But the one thing that stuck with me was like Sword and Shield. Very revolutionary. You just walk and you see the Pokemon coming at you, and you get into a fight with them. And then you got the Dynamax stuff, and then it's online. So I was just like, if any game were to ever come out, I would just like it to play like Sword and Shield.
Because the only thing I don't ever really pull like Pokemon around, because it's always coming out with something new. It's always was further evolving. Well, because we're talking about 20 years later.
Yeah.
If there was a game that I wish they remade for a new platform, a new series, and stuff like that, would be Dr. Muto.
Dr. Muto.
Oh, you never played Dr. Muto on PlayStation 2? So it's a doctor that blows up. He's a mad scientist that blows up the world, and then he finds like DNA of animals, and then he uses that to transform on this platforming game. It's a little open world and a little level you're on.
Yeah.
But you platform as like, you know, a squirrel, a fish, all these other animals like a gorilla to use to solve puzzles and to further, and you have to collect certain areas to put back the Earth that you destroyed, because he cannot rule the world if there's no world to rule. And they came out with Dr. Muto too. That would be dope. Like when we're done, we'll edit something in with Dr. Muto and I'll show you.
What about you? What's a game that you would, if you had a chance and you were like, I had a ton of money,
like
I'm gonna remake it?
I don't know if I can pick something as obscure as Dr. Muto.
Muto.
Talking about the Mutos. That's Godzilla 2016. You know, the legendary Godzilla with the Muto. No, man, you know, what could I get to be remaked now?
Yes.
Honestly, I would love the Banjo-Kazooie games to just be available on something other than, you know, Xbox.
No, just port them.
Yeah, I would love to see a port of them on the Switch, because as of it is right now, I actually don't have any other next-gen console except the Nintendo Switch.
We got first four figures selling Banjo-Kazooie, but no Banjo-Kazooie remake, right? That's
what I'm talking about. We got Banjo and Smash. That was great, but give me the games, you know, available on Nintendo.
Banjo-Tooie was pretty good.
Oh, I loved
Banjo-Tooie.
Banjo-Tooie. And you know what's funny is you look online, a lot of people don't like the sequel for some reason. I don't understand why.
Yeah.
I played that game out until like the cartridge was unreadable on my 64. You know, like that was one of the games I played the most.
Banjo-Kazooie is one of the first games that would catch you for cheating if you use a Game Shark.
Yeah.
It would catch you. The witch would be like, "Oh, you're trying to cheat."
Yeah.
Like,
Are you serious?
Yeah. So catch you.
Some games
I'm not
are
a
just
Game
like,
Shark user, so I don't know.
So before you guys think I'm crazy, this was what I'm talking about.
Dr. Muto.
We'll bring it up after this ad. We're gonna probably edit this out.
Remastered.
So you guys don't think I'm crazy that it's like it's obscure.
This is that remake.
That was made by Midway.
Yeah, you know what else? Midway did.
This is a real thing. This game was awesome for its time, and then I kind of cheated the whole way. I used a game code so I could unlock everything at once. I don't know.
It's funny. Oh, there you go.
You want to see some gameplay?
I don't know if you can see gameplay.
Oh, it's just like
Collector. It's just like the title.
That's the thing. He's just proving it's real.
That's it.
No,
I'm just not cruising
You're
with
making it up,
Madman
bro.
now.
You know, that just makes me think that like it's crazy how you might have had one very obscure game growing up,
Yeah.
but you will never ever forget, like Dr. Muto.
Yeah.
There was a game on 64, and I forget the title of it. But I just, the other day I looked it up because I wanted to see if it was real and not just like something I dreamed as a kid.
Like you had the
growing up.
Mandela effect or
Yeah,
something like that?
Yeah, and I looked it up and it was real. It's this little like gesture looking thing. It was like an action platformer, 3D platformer. And he would just jump around and do somersaults in the air. And for some reason that never went away. And the real reason why it never went away was because when I was growing up, we used to travel a lot. And this is back in the era, kids, we used to rent video games, you know, and we're not talking GameFly, you know.
Remember when Netflix used to send you DVD?
Yeah, yeah. No, we used to go to places like, you know, a local grocery shop, and sometimes even there,
Blockbuster, Hollywood Video.
you would rent a game from
You wouldn't know
inside.
anything about those kids.
So one time we were living in Colorado Springs, and we were moving across the nation to Memphis, Tennessee.
Jesus.
And we
Going to
stopped.
Graceland, kids.
And we stopped. I was like, I think like maybe 8 years old at the time. And I really wanted this one game. And I couldn't stop bothering my parents about wanting this one game. So then my parents rented to, this is already on our way outside of the city. They rented this video game. And then we never, you know.
No, you
Never
forget
heard of
it.
it.
Yeah. Essentially they stole it, I guess. They paid to rent it, but then they took it with us.
I did that with Redbox one time. I was a cart pusher at Walmart, and you were there. And then
Was that kind of pushing that?
no, you were a cashier because I remember I was getting
come
heat.
outside.
They were like, "Oh, you're not doing this right." I was like, "No, I'll
Still Gatorade.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going out to be a cart pusher. I can listen to my iPod all the time. Anyways, they had the red boxes everywhere, and people would leave their red box DVDs in the freaking carts, and I would just find them. Yeah, and I would find them, and I would have been like, oh, cool, new DVD, and it would be like the hottest movie what's out right now, and I would take it home and watch it, and if it was lame, I returned it. If it was good, I kept it.
You do it on their time.
Yes,
Just like, wow, this is great. I'm
Little
gonna have
angel
someone
on the
else buy it
shoulder.
for me.
There's some 55, 65-year-old men that was like, that's why I had to spend $75 fee.
The little
This
angel
guy,
on your shoulder was like,
back
go
in
return.
2007, he wanted to watch
Oh my god.
was it
Cisco's like,
RV?
Where's my copy of Uncle Buck? Like, it's just chilling.
So I think back in the day, like RV with Robin Williams was out with JoJo, and I'm like, I too like JoJo.
Thank you, random person at Walmart.
Yeah,
there was
no.
so much stuff that you would find in the carts back then. It was crazy. Oh man. it
Oh,
was-
kids, everything.
Oh yeah, there was kids got left behind. I remember one time when this person was trying to shoplift, and she had the stroller, and they went to go grab her. She left the stroller with her
Oh
kid,
my
Oh,
god.
and when she just ran off.
Honestly,
and-
I believe that. I believe that.
People of Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People of Walmart.
Well,
It
I mean,
happens.
no, we worked at Target.
I
and-
gave that kid a home. I raised him right. Send him off to college.
That's my wife now.
No, we used to work at Target, and my girlfriend and I, and also we have, you know, I mean, it's retail service.
I just remember when that was the first time I ever met you. You were here at the Target.
That's right. Yeah, I worked
You were
at-
you were actually handling the Funko Pop lines back then.
Yep.
You know, he had everything. He always had, you know, you had to give him respect because he was the dude that you had to give the, you know, pops to. He's like, "What you want? Oh, you know, you had any chases? No, you get base, man." You're like, "Oh, you sure
I know
you
what you're
guys are
talking
like
about.
this?"
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
No, you
He's
sure
just
they
saving
gonna
all the
chase?
ones for himself in the back. He's like,
Nah.
You come up to him, you just
that's
come up to
fine.
him, you're like, "Marco, crocodile." He's a chase dog. He's a chase.
No, that's funny. Yeah, that's actually that, and it was actually technically I was working in electronics. I was selling more cell phones than anything else, but even then,
Burner phones on the south side, man.
we were burner phones. We were still kind of dealing with the Funko Pops because that's back there in electronics.
Yeah.
You know, not now. They actually give that position to the person working the whole entertainment section, which is books and movies and stuff like that. So
sweet.
yeah, I mean, electronics already had to take care of phones.
So I've been harassing the wrong people for
Yeah.
like the longest time.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you, entertainment person.
Yeah.
Like, I know you in charge. I
Got the keys, right?
At some point, they're gonna get to the point where they're gonna have to be locking up Funko Pops in freaking glass cages.
I think they're already at that point.
I mean,
I have a friend. He lives in Hawaii.
Yeah.
They literally have Spam and hash, corned beef hash, locked up in like a steel box with the glass on it.
Yeah.
It has the security tag on it. They have Spam, corned beef hash. Don't know why. Just no.
Some irresistible stuff, I
Goodman,
guess.
you gotta give me an answer on that. Why they do that? And you also get Spam at McDonald's over there. He sent me
At
that.
Hawaii?
This is
Yeah,
where- Hawaii?
in Hawaii.
Wow.
He moved to. I used to work with him, and he transferred out to Hawaii because they had the business had a place out that way, and he stuck around for a while. And he was like, we want to talk to him. He's doing his stuff. He's doing a bunch of different stuff now. And but he was sending me like, look, I'm dead serious. He sent me pictures of like Spam on McDonald's menu, and
That's crazy.
and then the one he sent me was milk was $10 out there.
What?
Yeah, everything's imported out there. It's an island. They can't get
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
That's
They're,
crazy.
uh,
Just imagine how much a Funko costs.
That-
Like,
that-
yeah.
$50 for
Yeah,
a
50
comic. Jesus,
And for
that's
a
crazy.
Funko.
Yeah.
It's even harder.
That's crazy.
Dude,
No,
so
I
you have that one deal. You want your Funko fixed, man?
Yeah.
Get that Funko
Yeah,
fixed.
let me get that all my.
my dad used to work in Hawaii, and he would always mention how like he was working at a resort. He does like fake rocks out of cement, like landscape
Oh,
art
okay.
landscaping. Works at zoos and aquariums and amusement
It
parks
fools,
too.
it fools the monkeys. Like, I know that wasn't right.
Yeah,
You keep
exactly.
the irrigation system under that brick right there. I'm telling you, kid, like that, you're nuts.
He
Yeah, I'm watching that brick.
he was telling me that he was staying at a resort, and they had like some wrestlers come in once, and he saw he was walking once with a coworker, and they're like, what the heck? And then his coworker was like, hey, Hulk. It was Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then he like waved at them, and he was like, wow, that's crazy, Yeah, my dad.
My grandfather took me to introduce me to Hulk Hogan at the
Oh, that's crazy.
at the Tucson airport. So I was like walking around Walmart, and this goes back to the whole Funko thing. I literally saw Hulk Hogan pop, and he was ripping open his shirt, and
Yeah.
I literally grabbed it, and I'm looking at it, and I was teleported. Like, in that moment, I left my body, I got teleported to when I was a kid, and I'm literally putting my hand on the glass to feel this is pre 9/11, so that you could go
Yep.
into the terminals and stuff like that. I'm putting my hand on the glass to feel the jet engines push off, and you can feel it in
The
the glass.
vibration,
Yeah, you
yeah.
feel the vibrations, powerful engine. And my grandfather was like, he's like, hey boy, and he's like, well, yeah, what's up? He's like, you like wrestling? I'm like, yeah, I like wrestling. He's like, you like Hulk Hogan? I'm like, yeah, like who doesn't like Hulk Hogan? He goes, Hulk Hogan's right over there. Sure enough, you look over to the bar area, Hulk Hogan's sitting there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's like, you want to meet him? I was like, you just can't go meet Hulk Hogan. And he's like, come on. And I walked over there with him, and my grandfather's 6'4", huge dude. He was like 280, looked like, my grandfather looked like you cut a barrel in half and put it on his chest.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
huge. And he walks up to Hulk Hogan. He goes, hey, Hulk. And Hulk told him, hey, brother, how you doing?
Yeah.
And Hulk Hogan turns around and he goes, I want you to be my grandson. Hey, little brother, hey. And doing the Hulk Hogan stuff. And
That's pretty good.
and they start talking. They're talking like, I'm sure they're
He
talking
does it
about
all
the
the
weather.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everyone else is working. I'm over here like learning stuff. Like, I wonder how I can do that pitch.
Yeah.
So
Like his Macho Man.
yeah, my Macho Man's the best.
Yeah.
But Hulk Hogan, they were talking for a second, and he's like, all right, cool. But the biggest thing I took away from that whole interaction with Hulk Hogan was a full eye level underneath my grandfather.
Oh, that's crazy.
So Hulk Hogan had to look up at him. My
Yeah.
grandfather had to look down at him.
Yeah.
And so when I went to school at Grohala that next week, I was like, my great grandfather beat up Hulk Hogan. He beat up Hulk Hogan. Hit him with a chair. I was like, that didn't happen. You were there.
Just
You were
look at it,
there.
and I'm like, you're
Yeah.
gonna hate my son.
Yeah, there was no Twitter back then.
Yeah.
No, yeah. You had
Yeah.
to tell everybody like that.
Oh, dude, I met Mike Tyson. I put that on Twitter. And that thing blew up. I said to all my friends, I didn't have Facebook back then. I'm like, look, They're like, is that Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, he was cool. He had the list. I walked to Mike Tyson because once again, my grandfather, big influence. He was like, if you're gonna be a fan of anybody, be the fan of the best in the world. I was like, all right, cool. And then for me, in the '90s, Mike Tyson, baddest man on the planet, Iron Mike Tyson. So when I met Mike Tyson in 2012, I just got off the plane in LAX. He's like, I'm like, Mike, I want to talk to you. I just want to say hi. And I start like 19-year-old youngest WBC champion, all this other stuff. I started naming his whole catalog, right? And he goes, no, I'm very happy. As young as you are, you know, you follow my career such the way you have. I really appreciate that. And tell me how he sounds.
Yeah.
I was like, and then I went to go shake his hand, giant mitt.
Yeah.
Just this giant baseball mitt, dude. I was like, his hand was like wide as hell. Could have been swollen.
That's why his punches hurt, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, well I like photobombed Lou
Lou
Ferrigno.
Ferrigno.
Who?
Lou Ferrigno,
Lou
the
Ferrigno.
Incredible Hulk.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
So back in the day, children, before Ruffalo was the Hulk, we had Lou Ferrigno.
Then we had Edward Norton, and then we had
Yeah.
whoever it was from Ang Lee's the Hulk, and
Yes,
then we
there
had
you
Lou
go.
Ferrigno.
Exactly.
So Lou Ferrigno was the television Hulk. You had the guy who played Bruce Banner, but when he got mad, Lou Ferrigno was the dude that
Correct.
was they painted green.
Yeah.
Lou Ferrigno and Arnold Schwarzenegger were the two big bodybuilders. Everyone liked Arnold Schwarzenegger because he had the hour shape, very small waist, big legs, big top. But Lou Ferrigno was just solid. He was just and I tell people all the time, Lou Ferrigno was better because he was all the way proportioned. Go ahead and tag my comment sections. I don't care. Lou Ferrigno, more proportion, better body. So when we went to our first Comic-Con back in like 2009, something like that.
He was there.
We were going to Comic-Con in Phoenix when it was called Cactus Comic-Con. And it was held in a Holiday Inn ballroom that held 500 people in it.
Yeah.
And then it slowly started growing. They started getting better people. They had Ray Park there.
Yeah.
They had Daniel Logan, Lou Ferrigno, and Stan Lee. But this is when Stan Lee wasn't big. It was just kind of there. He had a little table. Stan Lee was just kind of like puttering around.
I mean, Stanley was big, but
He wasn't as big as
Marvel,
like
He wasn't
Marvel
MCU,
Universe big, yeah.
MCU movie big.
So Lou Ferrigno was charging like what, $80 an autograph?
Yes, man.
And
like we went up there, we're like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm taking
$60 for a
It
picture.
was $80.
So I told him when this is back when we had flip phones. I'm like, hey,
Yo,
Julian,
go over there,
and
Pull out
go
the
sit
Motorola
behind Lou
Razr.
Ferrigno, wait for him to pose for a picture. I'm gonna take a picture of you.
I bring
And I was
Julian with
like-
me because Julian, I've known him since 4th grade. He is my oldest and longest friend. So anything I will say or do, he'll probably telegraph and be like, yeah, he's about to go do that.
Yeah.
You might want to call the cop.
Yeah.
So he's my safety blanket. I bring him with me wherever I can just to be like, hey, hold me down. He'll hold me down. So, and my wife really appreciates it too because, you know, she can't be there all the time. She'll be like, just watch him. Just make sure he doesn't hurt things. It's fine. So I'm like, Julian, just whip around, dude. Just whip around. You see that area? Just go. So he goes all the way around the table and Lou Ferrigno's standing there. And here comes Julian.
This is
No.
Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah. So he's posing with other people. Okay, keep this in mind. He's
Yeah.
posing with other people on this side.
Yeah.
I'm over here on this side, and so he's like, "Hey, so wait for him to pose for a picture,
Yeah.
and then just kind of get in the picture." And I was like, "I don't know what you mean by that. I don't think I'm gonna drop kick the person in front of me."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, my turn now. No, but like I stood there and I kind of just leaned in a little bit, and it looked like I was in the picture. And then he snaps the picture.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. And then Lou Ferrigno turned around and so I ran away.
He was kind of mad. He
Yeah.
was, you
No,
could
I
tell
bet
he-
he was.
You could tell he was pissed off.
Yeah.
No,
And
yeah,
then
that's funny.
The one person I did that to was what's his name? Chris Sabat.
Chris Sabat.
Yeah, I
Chris
did that
Sabat.
to him at the last Comic-Con before COVID. I did that to them, but my buddy and his son were taking the picture with Chris Sabat, and it was just a perfect, like, that V, the little guy was here, Chris Sabat, my buddy Arturo, and I just happened to be there, so I just
Kind of leaned
I happened to just be there. I was like,
yeah.
I can't lean in. I'm like right there, so I was
Yeah.
like, so I just got to
Chris Sabat, though.
He
What
paid for the
was
photo.
it?
I got to be.
I'm sure he
tagged in
wouldn't.
it.
I'm sure he wouldn't have been upset if he would have noticed.
Oh, no,
Chris Sabat.
every-
He's a pretty cool
Oh, yeah,
guy.
he was
He's
cool.
a pretty cool guy. Actually, that was the same Comic-Con that I met him, and I got a couple of Pops signed.
Oh yeah, I got my All Might sign right there.
Yeah, I got 2 All Mights. I met Elijah Wood.
Oh
I got
yeah,
a- I got
Elijah
a
Wood was
Frodo-
there.
I got a Frodo Pop signed by him, And the other one was Tom Kenny, voice of SpongeBob. I got a SpongeBob pop sign by him too.
Man, and that's,
There you go.
And you know what's the great thing about all three of them that I met? They were all cool guys. You know, like they were chill, you know. And of course, you don't really think about that, but they're celebrities, you know, like you hear some, you know, I guess Bridezilla kind of stories about celebrities.
Like, don't meet your heroes.
Yeah, exactly. But like Hulk Hogan could
didn't
have
blow
ignored you. He could
I have a story about one guy who did blow me off.
Really?
So that same, before I tell that one, that same Comic-Con we got to meet Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
He was really cool. He spent like 10 seconds with everybody because you know it's Jeff Goldblum. He was probably the highest ticketed person there.
And he was expensive too.
$100 an autograph. And I paid that $100 because it's the fly. What are you going to do? It's Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
The one person that did blow me off was my favorite baseball player. It was Randy Johnson. It was right after 2001 when they won the World Series.
Yeah.
And he's 6'9".
Yeah, this is massive.
Huge.
Yeah.
So I walked up to him. There's right here at TP when they used to do the back in the day. They used to do the spring training back here, and I literally walked up to Randy Johnson. I was like, Mr. Johnson, can you sign my baseball? And he just looked at me. Because you don't have to do this to me. He just does this.
He looks really down.
Yeah, he just looks really down at me. And he just looked at me and he just walked off in his tunnel.
He kind of looks like a jerk.
Oh yeah,
you know, like
and I was destroyed.
I mean, if you kill pigeons with baseballs, you know.
yeah, you must be a terrible
mean person.
You're lucky you ain't going across the base, kid. But no, I was crushed. He was my favorite player.
Right.
The way they call it, the big unit. And then I was destroyed. I was like, oh my God, this is like, what am I gonna do? And that moment, I literally turned around and I bumped into somebody. And he was wearing the pinstripes. It was Luis Gonzalez. And he looked at me, he goes, hey, you want me to sign your ball?
Oh!
And I was like, yeah! I want you to sign my baseball.
Nice.
And he took my baseball and he signed it. I still have that baseball at home. And he signed it, Luis Gonzalez. And then he took the ball and he threw it on the field.
Really?
Go get it.
The person who was on the field who caught the ball was Kurt Schilling.
Really?
And Kurt Schilling signed the baseball.
Oh, that's sick.
And then he handed it to the dude standing next to him was Tony Walmack.
And
Tony
he
Walmack signed the baseball,
Yeah.
and he handed it to the next guy. It was the Kim. It was the Oriental guy, Kim.
Yeah.
He was
off the record.
He came in and he signed my baseball.
That's cool.
And they threw it back to him, and they gave it to Luis Gonzalez, and he gave me my ball. And he was like, hey, don't worry about Randy, he's like that sometimes.
Yeah.
He did the little kid thing, and then he walked off.
Good job, sport.
In that moment, I was destroyed. My favorite player dissed me. And in the next moment, I was like, forget Randy Johnson, son. I have nothing ever nice to say about Randy Johnson.
And now he watches football.
Yeah.
I've always been a football. I've always been a football.
Yeah.
I met Marshall. My mom was like she made sure I met Marshall Falk, Kurt Warner. You know, they used to find Kurt Warner. So Kurt Warner would just play for the Rams in St. Louis, and I was always a Rams fan. He used to come. He got traded way over here to Arizona, right? And he would sign his jerseys for the Rams fans that would still have his 13 Rams jersey, and they would fine him $5,000. So they couldn't fine him $5,000 per jersey. They just had to give him one flat rate for the day.
For the whole
so
day.
he would try to sign as much as he could because he already ate $5,000.
Yeah.
So he would sign as much as he could.
I wish I could have seen, you know, the Rams play during like the times of Marshall Falk, Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce,
Torrey Holt, Aeneas Williams.
But yeah, dude, I really would have wanted to watch them play during that time.
Oh, dude, I gotta grow up.
Like the greats.
See, I got friends that grew up. Their favorite football player, their favorite football team were the Browns. I'm like, at least I gotta grow up in the night in like the early 2000s when the Rams were good.
Yeah.
And then we had 10 years where we weren't so good.
No.
It was kind of like when the way I described like having a sports team they're not doing good. Back in the day, I liked anime. Nobody liked anime. You were the weird kid who liked that weird Chinese stuff, that weird Japanese stuff. Come on, yeah, they're like, you like that stuff that nobody understands, and you have to wait 2 years for somebody to voice it in English.
Yeah.
Good job for you. And you're like, well, I like, the comic books weren't a big thing either.
Until the MCU.
Until the MCU came around, one thing led to another. You
Yeah.
got BTS releasing movies, you got Black and Pink all over Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, where's my, I was on the ground floor of this.
Yeah.
I was on the ground floor of the
I was
breaking
watching
ground.
it before it was cool.
Yeah. All of a sudden, all these
Where's
little.
my hat?
My niece, she's gonna be 11. She knows about Naruto. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I was there when he threw his first shuriken, woman.
Yeah, no, and here at the store, people come into and then they're like, man, why wasn't this popular when I was growing up? You know, like people get, some of the people get mad. They're like,
I wish.
They're like, man, I hate that, like, growing up, I was picked on for this, and now it's the mainstream, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to check lighting?
No, I think we're good right there. Like, that thing had charge. As long as that thing is still recording, right?
Yeah.
It's still on?
Do you want me to check it?
Alright, sorry.
Yeah.
No, the light, I didn't charge it, so
Yeah.
it's alright.
No,
But no, like, and that's what I always ask people, if you could hit the restart button,
Yeah.
right? And you could, with everything you know now, would you go back and relive the life and doing all this stuff? I would.
Yeah.
I'd be king.
Exactly.
I'd be king. I'd be like the coolest kid at school.
Right.
Like, he knows all this stuff about anime way before his time. Remember when, like,
But we're still not that, because that's what I was.
listen, when back in the day when you said you saw the whole internet, you were not lying. You went to all the websites that were available.
Yeah.
And when, like, Star Wars, when you heard about episode 1 was coming out, they're like, oh, they're doing prequels. And you're like, oh, then episode 2, that's when we got on board and we were like, what is a Mandalorian?
Yeah.
What is this? They never had a word for Mandalorian metal. We called it Manda Metal. Now it's Beskar.
Yeah.
And now you're like, oh man, you, like I haven't told you. I told you, like, you remember like, they had that
It
word?
was called Man of Metal.
Manda Metal back in the day. That if we had that word back when we were kids, it would be like, that was totally badass.
Yeah.
Beskar.
Now they're
I
making
love
stuff more
Beskar.
canon, and we're
Yeah.
like, it's just one of those things where like, it's not popular. It's nothing catchy as a kid. You grow up. Now we're in our 30s. All of a sudden, it's the
pop.
hottest thing in the world.
Which I don't mind. I mean,
Yeah, this is the golden age.
Exactly. Yeah, we're still young enough to enjoy it. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
like we're still going out to the movies, and even better, now you can take your kids. Now you
Exactly.
can expose them
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
true.
to this, and they become little versions of ourselves.
But I'm
Yeah.
I'm fearful in that though.
Oh,
Because
why
I'm
is that?
fearful because I want my kids to be like, you know, whatever, old man, you don't know nothing about this. Let me show you how
Put
to
him in
do
his
it.
place.
Yeah, that's when you whip out the 64 and show them you saw the original
Show 'em
cartridges.
Jedi Academy.
All right,
Yeah.
so My Hero's fairly still new within the last couple of years,
Right,
right?
yeah.
So I'm into My Hero. I'm literally looking at them. Hey, boy, look at that. You know what? I was here the first day and I bought a sticker. I bought an All Might sticker, and I'm like, look, boy, it's I said young All Might because it was in his younger outfit.
Right.
And he literally goes, "That's All Might Golden Age Dad."
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah,
that's
right.
not golden. I was like, whatever. I busted out the iPhone, click.
And he was right.
You rounded.
These kids, man.
The wife looks at me going, what happened? Kids suck. I ain't gonna give him credit. He's 7. I ain't giving him no credit.
I had a kid come
I
in
was
the other
happy.
day, and he was with, it was 2 kids. They were friends, and one of them said to the other, "Hey, what does this say?" And this kid, I mean, who does not look like he should know Japanese, saw this Japanese symbol, and he was like, "Kimetsu no Yaiba," and I was like, this dude just read out Demon Slayer in Japanese, in like kanji,
In kanji.
you know?
Yeah,
And
you
I was
have to
like,
say kanji.
and this kid was like maybe like 13, 14 years old.
What is
And
he
I'm
saying?
like, oh,
No
that's-
MSG.
Yeah, no.
It says buy it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
No,
his
it was
mom's
it was
like-
cool, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, his mom's like, he can't even speak Spanish.
Yeah,
Can you speak Spanish? No,
This
sir.
is also true. This is
Como
also true.
como te ama? Mucho trabajando. Película.
Película.
Yeah, no, but it was cool. It was a cool little experience where it's like, dang, like these kids are going out of their way because of anime
Yeah.
to like learn a different language, you know?
Dude, I'm on my 3rd attempt on Rosetta Stone Spanish, and I'm still looking at it like, yeah, I'm not getting
Yeah,
that.
yeah. When you think about it, though, we're like in like the knowledge generation. You can go
Yeah.
on YouTube, you can learn stuff. Like for me, for example, I didn't know anything about electronics, building lightsabers, things like that. And now I'm to the point where I'm doing custom lightsabers for people.
Right.
And I'm soldering things, and I'm
that's
learning
crazy.
about circuit boards.
Oh, I
and
gotta
how
watch
they
them.
work.
It's
That's
a
got to watch
process,
it at
bro.
work, and it's
Yeah,
back
it's
breaking.
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
rough.
Well,
I'm the one going, are we done yet? He's like, you're not doing nothing.
Right.
I'm like, it is a process just watching you.
Right, and it's all thanks to the internet. Like
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
considering the other day, running a business, like management and stuff like that. I don't want to get too boring, but I was like, man, like I should go back to school to be able to, learn how to operate and manage a business.
Yeah.
But then I thought about it, and like, there's masterclass.
Yeah.
There's YouTube videos that can probably give me. I mean, I'm not going to equate a doctor in business sciences to a 12-minute
That doesn't even translate to a degree,
But the point I'm trying to get at is like
Yeah.
if you need to know how to do something,
Sure.
it's out there on the internet.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what I tell people. I'm like, hey, what's this? You know that thing that you talk on the phone, you talk on every so often? That thing's like a supercomputer. You can actually type in whatever you're asking me, and you
Right.
can look that up there.
Yeah.
Don't need to ask me about that. Especially with the business stuff. Everything's online. You can find it for free. It's all at our fingertips.
Shout
At
out
some point-
Wikipedia.
yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
At some point, she's like, it's only you and
Wikipedia,
your,
the
it's only
most
you and your
reliable
girlfriend
source of
working here.
information.
It's only you and your girlfriend working here right now.
Right.
She's like, when do we get dental? She's
Yeah.
like, I'm working on that. Don't worry about
Well,
it.
my big thing is like employment. How is that going to come around? How's that going to work? And I mean, at the very least, if I have a question regarding like laws of like Arizona and what requirements are needed for a business retailer like myself, I can at least get an idea by going onto the azlaws.org or .gov or whatever, and it'll explain to me what's needed as a business.
So owning a
You
business.
need to diversify your bond.
Yeah.
So owning a business, I know it comes with its degree of caveats, but then you got like a lot of benefits come from it. So what would you say would be like one of those cool benefits of like owning a business?
and this is kind of cheesy, maybe a little corny. It's so cool being your own boss.
Two of my favorite things, cheesy and corny.
No, yeah, look,
Put them in a bowl.
those-
It's
yeah,
good.
exactly. You're your own boss, right? I don't report to anyone. Even if I technically, I guess because I have my lease at a mall, I don't report to the mall. I have a partnership in a sense with the mall.
Do you ever have to
Right.
like tell them like how much you made within that fiscal quarter or whatever it is?
So that's actually, I
I
don't
always
know
just
how.
had that question.
I don't know how much I can get onto this, but in terms of if something goes wrong, knock on wood, that's not wood, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for it, and in a sense, not only is that I wouldn't say worrying, but it's something that you have to always remember about. On the other hand, it's kind of invigorating that you're responsible. This is my responsibility, versus hey, going over to a boss like, hey, something's on fire. Cool, my shift's over. I gotta go.
But does it really work though? Because honestly, you're doing what you love.
I mean, and
You get to
that's
hang
that's
out,
the
see
thing,
all
right?
this
Isn't
stuff.
that the quote? Like if
Yeah.
you find something you're doing that you love,
It doesn't really work. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll never work a day in your life.
Now, if you
Yeah.
get to the point where you're like going home and you're like, babe, how was the day there? Well, my boss sucks.
I'm your
I'm
boss.
the guy. That's me. I'm that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk to me.
No.
Talk to me. No.
No, that would be pretty funny. No, it's just a matter of I lost my train of thought. Sorry. We were talking about how
about the wife comment.
Wu Tang. I gotta throw Wu Tang in there every so often.
yeah. No,
I tell my wife. I tell my wife all the time. I'm like, so when's your husband get home? She's like, he ain't gonna get home in a minute.
Something right about
Really? Tell me more about this. It comes up it rolls off the tongue too smooth, and I'm like, okay, watch me, woman.
Honestly, it's been a pleasure being able to again, because I couldn't have done this by myself. So
Yeah.
so Tiffany, my girlfriend, she just really helps me out. If it's just me needing to take some phone calls or place some orders on my computer and having her run the register.
Yeah.
Today I was running the register and she was helping out in the back, like reorganizing, setting everything up in the back room, and it's just it's really nice to have obviously someone else help you around. Back in the day, it was just myself and pulling everything down from the car, setting it all up,
Yeah.
getting all my toys dusty. Because you're right, that's what I remember what we were talking about. Working for this it's not that difficult when you know what to sell and you know what's popular. the product sells itself.
Yeah.
I'm not you know, a pushy salesperson. And even if people come up, I'm not telling them like, hey,
buy this.
hey,
Let me
just
tell
let
you
you
how to spend
know.
your money.
Yeah, let me show you this. No, like people come up with what they want to buy.
They
and
know
then
what they
buy it.
want and they know what they're willing
Yeah,
to spend.
if at most work I have to do is when I have, you know, older generations of people who are not fans, but come in asking, hey, you know, my son likes My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Can you please show me what you have? Absolutely. And then I go and show them, you know, I have some wall scrolls, I have these figures. I
You
have
start
these things.
upselling, you need one of these.
And that's another thing I was going to talk about was like, okay, so you went from like a swap meet environment.
Mhm.
So here we know that the prices are pretty much set into what they are,
Mhm.
and there's no room for that haggling. Were you noticing like a really big loss when it came to that portion of it? Like when you go to a swap meet, people think, I'm going to go buy a bunch of stuff for like pennies.
Oh yeah, I'm the master at the haggle.
And you see these like collectibles that you probably wouldn't see anywhere else, but then when you're like, well, but you're in a swap meet, so now
Dude,
I'm
at
gonna
Comic Con too though.
Yeah.
Brought them prices.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah.
Then,
So,
so
like,
you
here,
see
yeah.
like a good amount of
You're
that,
solid
and
here.
So much now you're more like a foundation that's solid.
You know, at the end of the day, yes. You know, if you go to any like a swap meet setting and you see something for $20,
Yeah.
you can handle because
Yeah.
it's a swap meet, and
Yeah.
that person's probably selling something that's used or something that, you know, I don't want to point any fingers or say that this has happened. Something that might be bootleg.
Okay.
You feel me? I've always been selling it. Well, this last year specifically, I was selling, you know, all this stuff that I get wholesale distributed.
Sure.
Right? So my prices were usually set. And even at the swap meet, I didn't really get too many hagglers or people haggling. But at the end of the day, you still get that. Here at the mall, believe it or not, you still even get that. Maybe
Really?
it's because they see that my prices are not all uniform.
Well, an advanced
You
store
know?
haggle.
Well, my
30,
thing.
20.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Is you still end up seeing that, and now it's easier to say no. That's the difference.
Yeah,
that's
is
what
at the swap meet, it was like, okay, you know, like we can work something out.
Yeah.
Here it's no, my prices have to be set because I mean there's a lot more overhead, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could ever run a store like this because I'm a collector.
You just keep everything?
I would keep everything.
You know what?
And that for me would be
Make
like,
no
I would,
money, just have nothing but collectibles.
yeah, that would be like oh,
You guys think I don't do that? I
Yeah,
get
yeah, I was
cases
gonna say, like-
of product in. You can see, like, people ask me all the time over at my register, like, I have a bunch of out-of-box display statues, and I
Yeah.
tell people all the time, you know what, they're not for sale, because in the future, and this is true, in the future, I'll get that same product in the store,
Yeah.
but also I like them, and I
Yeah.
want to keep them, you know?
I know,
like,
like, matter of fact, when I was here earlier and I bought something, I was like, okay, what of these are you gonna?
And what
get
did I
for
tell
sale?
you, Julienne?
He was
I
like
said-
2 figures.
Yeah.
This one and that one.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
rest of them were just chilling.
And that's where I can't. That's where I'm like, I can't do it. Be like,
Yeah.
hey, so how much is this? Not for sale. How about this? Not for sale.
Yeah,
Like, what's for sale?
I get that all
This
the
is my
time.
store of shit, man. This,
Yeah.
is where all my cool stuff is. I just
Yeah.
want people to look at it.
No, yeah, you didn't walk into a store. You walked into
You walked
a
into
museum.
my collection.
My collection. It's just you pay $1 per ticket.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
It.
It's like
Yeah.
walking to the museum.
Just coming in. That's
Let me
it.
tell you, I was 8 years old. I got that for Christmas. Never opened. Kudos to me. You know, ward off
Pat me on the
temptation.
back and walk out.
Honestly, that's a great sales idea.
Yeah.
That's a great. I don't know how many people would spend $1 to just walk in and
Like,
look
just
around,
come in.
but
People go to
Comet
Graceland
Collection.
all the time, bro. Everyone goes to
Yeah.
Graceland just to look at Elvis's gold records.
Yeah.
And like, you see that chair? That's where it happened. You know, and that's how it is.
Yeah.
Me, I just like comic books, toys, collectibles and stuff. I'm a collector. I don't sell things. I don't get rid of things.
Mm-hmm.
I am the mass collector of things, and I just can't find myself to be like, you know what?
I was
Like-
like that.
Yeah, like if you walk into his house,
Like
yeah,
I'm sitting here, like you guys are talking. I'm sitting here. I'm looking at this whole wall. I'm looking back there. I already spent like 10 grand
Yeah.
in my head. I'm over here like I want
Yeah.
the Kirby. I want the Deku plush.
Yeah.
I'm like I don't even like Jordan. I'll take a Jordan pop. I'm like I'm
Yeah.
already spending. Like I'm like over here like all right, that's about to be $4,000 right there.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's hard. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, we keep what we want because I mean, that sounded kind of jerk to say, but I can. You know, like the other day we bought a big lot of My Hero Academia pops, and I collect My Hero Academia.
Sure.
So I kept the ones that I really wanted.
That's why you had a Mount Lady right
Yeah,
there. You don't see that one so often.
And that was
no more.
part of that one, you know. And so was the exclusive Bakugo, the con exclusive, and that was part of the collection. So I said, you know what, I can't not keep these.
Yeah.
You know, like I have to. And then the rest of them went up on the shelf, and lo and behold, I sold all those other ones. I made my money for that collection. So it's like I just got some pops for free, you know.
Yeah.
See me, I don't probably because like you're buying stuff, you flip it, you probably get that adrenaline rush high.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh man, I took that, I turned it into a profit, which is good because you're a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm a hunter.
Right.
I need to get out there. I need to look for stuff, and like as soon as my favorite thing is when you're looking for something and you're like, you know what, you throw it on the back shelf and you're just going around and you happen to see it without looking for it. Yeah. That's the best high.
I mean, absolutely. Back when Toys R Us was here in Tucson in town, I would make my RIP. Shout out Toys R Us.
It's still in Canada. We're going to Canada.
We might see it come back around here, but I would. That was my runs for Star Wars Black Series, the 6-inch series. I would go like Target, Toys R Us, Walgreens, other Toys R Us, Walgreens, 2 other Targets. Walgreens. You know, to hunt for the Black Series.
So you have to have a personal collection.
Yes.
Is there this one of those things where you're like part of the personal collection that you've been hunting for the longest time?
Like your holy grail.
Yeah, your grail.
Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, not really. If there's one thing I would like to add to the collection and find, but it's more that it's something I have to go out to obtain. Sure. Would be something signed by Mark Hamill. It's my favorite. So something Luke Skywalker signed by Mark Hamill. Yeah. That would probably be on my list. You know, that once I have that, like my collection can rest. You feel me?
What about you? Like holy grail.
Actually,
this is my end game item.
Actually, there is one, and it's actually very simple. I can actually buy it for $25 on eBay. I don't do it.
It's not really a holy grail.
No, well, this is why. I'll tell you why. When I was a kid, I wanted a dragon dagger. Remember the dragon flute from Power Rangers? Green Ranger? Yeah. I wanted one. And I asked my mom to get me one. She never did. I turned 29 and my mother finally got me one. Okay. She just was like, hey, I remember you telling the story. Went to GameStop. Everyone was in on it. They bought me a dragon dagger. Still have that dragon dagger. It's in the thing. There's other couple things when I was a kid that I got rid of that I had to re-hunt back down. Like, remember those little Ninja Turtle figs?
Yeah.
Well, they had the one where he was wearing the coat from the movie. Mm-hmm. I had to re-hunt that one down. The trench coat. And he had the hat on. And we had to re-hunt that down. I actually found that at the swap meet. And they wanted like $2 from it. I was like, yeah, $2. There you go. No, knowing like how much that thing is actually really worth, that's like a $15, $20 toy. Right. But now it's way more now. It's actually the one thing that I had that when I was a kid that I wanted, that my mother actually took me to every single store to look for here in town, was a Sting action figure. I'm looking for a WCW or WWE Sting. And he had to, and it didn't matter if he was red face paint or white face paint, but he had to have the coat and he had to have the black baseball
trench coat.
And I could buy that right now on eBay for like $20.
And why don't you?
Because, and I'll tell you why I don't, and this is the dumbest thing, I've never told nobody this, but I'll say it right now.
You heard it here.
You're here first. I don't buy it because after I buy that, it's done.
That's true.
The little kid in me will be complete. And I just don't want to get rid of him yet. Because that's my excuse, because everything I ever wanted as a child.
Yeah. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever
everything I ever wanted as a child, I already completed him. Yeah. Now I have to be 30-year-old me going like, well, I like that too, and I like that too.
You're gonna make me cry.
I just want to keep that. I just want that one thing to be like out of reach. Yeah. So my little kid in me just has that little like, I want it.
When are you gonna get it?
Probably Christmas. So that's gonna wrap us up. I'm Cisco.
And I'm Julienne.
And I'm Marco.
So if you're ever in Tucson and you want to stop by the Park Place Mall, come over here to Comet Collectibles right here. And he'll take care of you.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
so we'll catch you in the next video. We'll see you next time. See ya.